Yeah, turn me up. Yeah. Ooh, ooh, ooh. I'm on the way up. I'm on the way up. I'm on the way up. I'm on the way up.
All right, you guys, we're back at you with another video on today. This is Raw Detroit. Make sure you hit that subscription button, subscribe to the channel, click on the bell and hit the word all so that you may be able to receive every notification that comes from the channel. All right, guys, we got a signing out in Detroit. Some breaking news. The Detroit Lions pick up another practice squad player in Andre Carter. If you never heard of him, Andre Carter was a guy that got a bunch of sacks in 2021. I believe he has a single season record for Army for the most sacks, which is what I think 15 and a half, 16 sacks, something of that nature. And that season he was definitely straight balling that year. And he has a career of about 20 sacks, 99 tackles. He also got 2 interceptions, 7 PBUs. I mean, you know, the list goes on and on and on. Now, the biggest thing is that we saw a big, huge move, and it was a power move by the Green Bay Packers. It was talked about on yesterday that Michael Parsons could end up with the Green Bay Packers, and the Packers pulled it off. You know, they had the money and the resources to be able to go get him, and they did what they had to do. And you can't knock the Packers for going out and getting a talented player like Michael Parsons. Meanwhile, while we're struggling to bring in Zadarius Smith, the Green Bay Packers get better with the pass rush position. And you can't knock what they're doing, man. Anybody that makes a move to get better, you can't knock that. Now, will Andre Carter play? I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Would he get an opportunity? He's very athletic. I do know that about Carter. He's a very athletic player, and maybe you need to go see his body of work to see what type of player he was in college. You know, he dominated for the one season, and then he did not get drafted, and he ended up signing with the Minnesota Vikings. So maybe, I don't know, if Davenport get hurt or something like that, he may get the opportunity. I don't know if he'll still get the opportunity then, because you still got guys like Josh Pascal who could play the defensive end for the Lions position, as well. So, you know what I'm saying, with us struggling to bring back Zadarius Smith, and we might not even bring back Zadarius, but you have to be able to get out the quarterback. That's the reason why these elite pass rushers make a lot of money. And we know that Hutch he's gonna get paid anywhere from $40 to $47 million is what Hutch is gonna be looking at. When it's time to pay Aiden Hutchinson, you're gonna be paying this man anywhere between $40 and $47 million. So, you know, I want the Detroit Lions to get better defensively, and for them, it's just being able to get out to the quarterback. That's like a weakness for the Detroit Lions. You know, if you look in the playoffs, they didn't get a sack. They wasn't able to get to the quarterback. So, you know, hopefully Brad Holmes will do his homework. You know, I hear that, you know, the kid from Boise State is going to come back. But at the same time, he's a development player. You know, even when you bring him back, he's still a development player. So, you know, with Andre Carter, will he get the opportunity to showcase what he can do? I don't know. You know, you got to say probably not. He's on a practice squad. Well, maybe he may get called up. You never know. You never know. He has the size. He's about 6'6", 6'7". So he's a big kid. Probably 265 pounds. Long arms. Everything that you want, just like Aiden Hutchinson. Well, Aiden Hutchinson doesn't have the long arms, but he has a relentless motor that does not stop. And he's going to continue to try to get after the quarterback. Now, with this kid, he has long arms. So he's definitely athletic, and he's the type of kid that you would want to get at that position. But I don't know if he's going to play or not. He still could be like a development player or whatever, but the Detroit Lions did sign him to the practice squad. Don't know what it really means for the Detroit Lions, because they still have one spot on the roster that they can assign to anybody. We don't know if Zadarius is going to be back. We know that Brad Holmes likes to play this hide-and-go-seek game with us. You know, we don't know, man. You know, a couple of weeks ago, he said that he was talking with the agent of Zadarius Smith and things of that nature. And now, you know, We don't know if he's going to be signed to the Detroit Lions. We need help, man. We need help. We just need an insurance policy just in case Davenport goes down. We want Davenport to play the whole entire season. But if he happens to go down, what are we going to do then? What players are we going to bring in then that will be able to pick up the slack? I know we picked up 2 other guys that we got on the defensive line, but what are we really going to do? The biggest thing for us is being able to get out to the quarterback, and that's been an area of weakness, but we always been strong in being able to stop the run. So that has not been a problem with the Detroit Lions. Stopping the run has not been a problem. The problem is getting to the quarterback and being able to contain mobile quarterbacks. That's what's been the biggest hang up. That's what's been the biggest issue in Detroit. If you had to scope out something and say, like, what is the biggest weakness that the Detroit Lions have, it's being able to have a consistent pass rush and be able to get after the quarterback. That's what it is. Stopping a run is not a problem for the Detroit Lions. The problem is when you can't get to the quarterback. So we're going to see, man. Hopefully the Lions will have one of the best defenses in the league this year. We can't be afraid just because the Green Bay Packers picked up Micah Parsons. Yes, he is going to be a key contributor to their team, and he's going to form a tandem with Rashard Gary. But at the same time, we do have one of the best offenses in the National Football League. So a lot of things, and then we do have one of the best tackles in the game in Penei Sewell. And Penei has been able to have his way with Micah Parsons, and that's been a plus for us. But at the same time, you just want to get better as far as it means to be able to get after the quarterback. Nothing else. So this Carter kid, don't know if he's going to get the opportunity. Do know he's a development player. He's been added to the practice squad, so it really doesn't mean a lot. He may not get the opportunity, or he may get the opportunity. You don't know. And then we're trying to figure out what's going to happen with Josh Pascal when he comes back, because normally Pascal plays both ways, which means he goes on the inside and he can play on the outside. And he already has the experience of being able to do that. So we'll see, man, what the Detroit Lions and Brad Holmes have up their sleeve. But we know that Brad Holmes is probably never going to make a power move like the Green Bay Packers did and being able to go out and spend that type of money, because we pretty much spend a lot of money on our in-house guys. And right now we got our back against the wall with all these guys that we're going to have to eventually play. Jack Campbell's going to have to get an extension. J-Mo's going to have to get an extension. Also, Brian Branch and Sam Laporta are up for deals. So we pretty much got a lot of guys that we're going to have to pay. And I don't know. And can't forget about Jahmyr Gibbs. And you can't forget about Hutch as well. It's a lot of guys.